All right. Now let's talk crushing LinkedIn. And we'll drop a couple profiles probably in the show notes of folks we think are doing well. But one person that comes to mind right away, and I know you're a big fan of hers as well, is Rookie Tajani. I mean, she does such amazing, like just go look at her profile and her posts. And I think a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about will start resonating. But let's talk. Conrad, what things do you see lawyers doing really well on LinkedIn?
Well, I think I'm going to start with this very simple thing. And Rookie is a great example of this. She lets the who she is come out so beautifully and so genuinely. And frankly, she's one of the more positive people I've ever met in my life. And that just it just comes out of her LinkedIn profile. And that I'm not hiring a lawyer anymore. I'm building a relationship with someone who I want to be around. And I think she does a really good job on that. The counterpoint on that is LinkedIn, no one reads your resume. Even those recruiters don't read the full resume. And the job of LinkedIn is not to be that full resume repository. It's to let who you are come out. And you can do that if you think a little bit outside of the box. So I would really kind of lean into letting who you are, why you went to law school, all of those things come out in her profile, and it's inspirational. And it's not that hard because most of you have a good story behind there, right? Most of you do.
Yeah. The first thing that I usually think about beyond just the profile basics is the headline. Because to your point about, it's a blank, you don't have much time, you're not going to read the whole resume, but you literally, if you're listening to this and you got your phone, you got LinkedIn on your phone, just go into LinkedIn and go look at a profile and see the limited real estate you've got. But the headline is the thing, right? Are you telling your audience or your connections who you help, how you help them, how you're unique, why you're uniquely qualified to help? If those three things don't jump out in that headline, that's the first place that I would start in terms of optimizing your profile.
All right. I'm going to go back to what you and I grew up on professionally. LinkedIn is an algorithm. And in the same way that, and this happens on most of the social networks as well, but you need to understand that you are playing with and dealing with an algorithm. And that means that you need to monitor how things are performing, test how things are performing, try and understand how the algorithm works, approach this from in fact, speaking, this is funny, this all comes together. ABA Tech Show, Rookie Tajani, Conrad Som, and Guy, all on the same topic. We did actually, Rookie and I put together a proposal to talk about using data to make decisions on how you are using your social media and what you're tactically doing with social media. So that's what I'm talking about here. These algorithms change over time, and you need to look at your success and data to support your success or failures with what you're doing to evaluate how you're doing with LinkedIn. I will tell you this, I am fairly certain about 10 days to 2 weeks ago, there was a fundamental shift in the LinkedIn algorithm that has really changed the reach, the way your reach actually evolves on LinkedIn. And that happened within the last 2 weeks. No one's talking about this stuff, right? No one's thinking about this, but I'm seeing it in the numbers that we've been looking at because we look at the numbers. And if you don't look at the numbers and you're just throwing stuff up there, you won't learn the algo. So think about learning this as an algo, just like we talk about the search algos.
And speaking of measuring, there's a tool called Shield App. I think it's shieldapp.ai that has much more robust reporting on things like engagement and reach and all this kind of stuff that you can get out of LinkedIn, but it just makes it a lot easier.
It's brutal.
It is brutal.
And I think it's $39 a year or something like that. Shield App is, if you're spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, we'll put in the show notes, but it is a really good resource.
Yeah. And I'm surprised, not this is a subject for another day, but Microsoft bought this thing, and I thought this was gonna be like an instant rebuild, and it's just the underlying technology just seems so problematic. But anyway, the next big thing, there's kind of it's twofold for me, is the featured content area. and using featured content to highlight video of you, again, talking about why you practice, who you help, why you're uniquely qualified. Like, this is your opportunity to do your intro. You can do it also as a profile video. So if someone clicks on your profile photo, you can create a little video. I think that's effective too. But the truth is that a lot of people don't click on those, but the featured section commands a lot of real estate on your profile. And so pinning stuff to, whether it's, maybe it can be anything from client testimonials, if those are permissible in your state. It can be video of you talking about what you do, why you do it. It can be posts. You can highlight posts that if it's just text post, might be awards that you've won. But, the same things you talk about in terms of credentialing and validating your expertise on your website, that's the place to do it on LinkedIn.
All right. Next tip for me is do a 4-to-1 ratio on outreach versus posting, right? I think, and by the way, I am guilty of this, but spend a lot more time talking to other people, commenting on other people, identifying other people, connecting with other people, debating with other people. I had a great argument this morning on LinkedIn with a really good friend, and he's wrong. But that's where the relationships happen, right? And so if you are just posting regularly, you are missing. You're over investing in the content creation. We talk about this all the time. We talk about this with blogging too. Like, it's not content marketing; it's marketing content. And so I have a strong belief that you should be spending basically a 4-to-1 ratio on connecting with people and commenting. And by connecting, I do not mean blowing out, every LinkedIn recommends you might know this person, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of deeper relationships, targeted relationships that you're going to put time into developing, as opposed to, increasing your follower account or increasing those fake comment accounts, right?
And so, Conrad, you mentioned something there that I think a lot of folks don't even realize the distinction between, which are connections and following, right? So instead of going out and just mass connecting and making connection requests with people you don't know, if you get somebody's name or you meet somebody, but you're just at the beginning of kind of starting that relationship, you might follow them first. And then once you start following them, their content will show up in your feed. And then maybe you start engaging with some of their posts, right? So you like stuff that they're writing, or maybe you have a comment to leave. But we see this happen all the time, where the connection goes from follow to connect. And so many times for me, I'll start with the follow and get engagement engage with their posts without even requesting a connection. And then they'll request the connection from me, right? Because they're like, oh, I see that you're actually engaged. And so it's a much more natural, authentic way to connect. So check out following, and, again, the same thing we would talk about in any other context. Like, look for the folks who are good referral sources. Look for people in your local community. Like, those are the people that I think that you really just make. And it depends on your practice, but if you're a local lawyer serving a local community, find those people.
Most of you are.
Yeah, finding those community influencers, for lack of a better word, community leaders on LinkedIn, and engaging with them. It's a great way to stay top of mind over a longer period of time without, and it just feels totally natural.
Here's the next one for me. You need to realize that LinkedIn wants you to stay on LinkedIn.
Right.
And play their game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Play their game. So, for example, if you link out to a YouTube video that's going to take someone away from LinkedIn probably doesn't like that. Having said that, the right way to do that is to have video live on LinkedIn. I do this almost every morning now. LinkedIn, Facebook run that live, right? And so they're much more happy to have people sitting there watching Conrad talk or whomever talk on the LinkedIn platform than over YouTube, right? And so that's a great way to play the algorithm and play nice with your host, LinkedIn.
Right. And then, another dovetail on that one is not just the links to videos, not just YouTube, but really links in posts as well. So if you just share a link in a post, There have been a bunch of studies around this, and I think, as you mentioned, Conrad, I think they're trying to fix this a little bit because people are trying to take so much advantage of it. But for now, the understanding and a lot of the research that's been done is that if you have a post that you want to write about something or use an image, and you don't include the link, you add the link as a comment on the post, you get more reach. Now, again, this is kind of one where it's like, I could go either way on it. I mean, I get the idea of reach, but from a user experience, it's very frustrating to just see the image, right? And then have to go find the link in the comments, right? Especially if it's a thread that has a lot of comments and the comment with the link gets pushed down. But, balancing gaming algos and providing a better experience for the people you engage with, you have to kind of find a balance there, I suppose. And I've done it both ways. I mean,
I would say we are religiously put the link in the comments. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you want that reach. Got to get that reach.
Got to get the reach. Play the game, right? Because it works.
I got one more.
Go.
This is kind of like the more, I don't know, it's not really philosophical, but I guess it's more like concept or tactical. But, you'll see this all the time. The LinkedIn police, like, don't post your personal stuff on LinkedIn.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, so that's just all wrong. First of all, post whatever you want. But I do think that part of the authenticity and part of the getting to know people is letting who you are shine through. And so, whether you want to celebrate a family member or something that's gone in your personal life, or you want to share something beyond just like your work stuff, I think that's, and guess what? You know what you see? That stuff tends to get the most engagement. Now, sometimes
except for puppies.
Engagement. Yeah, puppies number one. But sometimes you get the LinkedIn police that come by, and again, if you feel that way, that LinkedIn is not Facebook and should be only link stuff, or work stuff, we'd love to hear from you. You can go comment on my posts on LinkedIn and tell me how I'm wrong. But again, if you really think about the value of the tool is a connecting tool. And I can't tell you how many times where, like, I'll post something, I try to loosely, like, tie it back to work stuff, right? Like, if I'll have my toddler on my lap and I'm at work, so it's like, okay. But the point is that guess what happens? People will send me messages, send me emails. Hey, congratulations on your whatever trip that you went on with your family. It looks like it was a really good time. Like, people are watching that stuff and it's sticking with them better than just if you're just like, productivity hack number 755, right? Anyway, this is the kind of final tip there. Be yourself. Just like you would in other marketing materials.
And if you disagree with us,
self come through.
You're welcome to join LHLM, where Guy and Connor will excoriate you for your misguided thoughts.
Yes, and we'll send you a stock image of a gavel that you can use on your headshot, because
no, but the point here is, like,
you obviously are the expert.
We started this talking about Ruki, and for me, the fact that she's a trademark lawyer, that is such a small part of who she is to me. And I don't know her that well, but, like, I've gotten to know her because she lets her personality shine through. She's a memorable person, right? And if all I knew about her was her frickin' resume from her carefully crafted LinkedIn profile and a corporate shot that gave out no personality, like, we would not be talking about her right now, right? And it's not that we're talking about her that's important. It's the fact that she's memorable for a great reason that makes her awesome. So if you get the LinkedIn police telling you not to, you know what? I've heard this, like, we can take this further. Don't talk politics. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, you know what? I'll use this as an example. I'll go the other side of this. Like, I am adamantly not religious, right? And the people who are and share that faith, like, it works for the right person, right? And it works for the right person. Otherwise, you're just a lawyer without a personality. So don't
be real.
Be real. Don't let your LinkedIn be beige.
Awesome.
Money makes a, it makes a